we have this summer to really grow and learn in ministry here at our church. This morning I wanted to start off by expressing two things to you all: grace and peace. I don't know if you remember a few weeks back, Sharon Binkard shared, and she always opened up with grace and peace to you all, to herself. And the second week she spoke, she said something along the lines of, and I have to paraphrase, that with grace, first grace comes, and then the peace flows out of that grace. That hit me. That's hit me for the entire summer. It's verbalized kind of what I felt this summer. And I want to extend that to you, and hopefully that can incite something with you the way that it did in me. If you all bow your heads and pray with me before I start. God, we thank you for another day to run a race, God, to worship you, Lord, to come into this room one more time and lift up our souls, to open our hearts, our mind, our hands, God, to show you and to speak to you how much you mean to us. God, in this time, I pray that you would be with all of us in this room. Pray for special strength today for me. Give me the grace, God, the peace that flows out of that grace. I lift up this message so it is yours, God, not mine, into your hands. In your name, Father. Amen. Well, it was roughly, 2006. It was February or March 2006. Been married about a year and a half. I'm going to use this as a little prop here. Been married about a year and a half, and we lived in Indianapolis. We lived on the north side, and we went to a church down there. And one of the things we did was we worked with the youth program, just like we do here. They're all my people right here up in the front area. We worked with the youth, loved it. One of the things that we did there was we'd get together outside of just the group times. The leaders would get together, and all the guys particularly would get together, and we would play video games together. Amen. Another phrase. We would get together, we'd play these video games, and we wouldn't play for a few minutes, 20 minutes. We'd play for a long time. So it had a bit of a tradition. Every Tuesday we would go, we'd eat dinner about 6 or 6:30, and we would go for quite a little period of time. We'd hook up all these different Xboxes. Those are gaming systems for those who aren't amen me. And we would play together. We would, talk back and forth. It was a great time, social time. Well, I had a little tradition of my own when I did it. I would always do two things. I would keep my cell phone out where I could see what time it was, because I kind of would get engrossed in these things, and I would play for a little while. The other thing I would do, I would make sure I would turn it on. That's a good point to remember. Turn it on, turn the volume on so you can hear it and see it in case somebody gives you a call. Such a concept. Well, one particular night, I didn't follow my tradition. I was too ready to go and play. I was aiming for the video game. What I did was I left it in my pocket, volume off, no vibration on it at all. I couldn't understand that it was communicating anything to me at that point in time, and I didn't care. I was playing this video game. Well, we started, like I said, at 6 or 6:30, and we would go for a period of time. Well, this particular night, I was in the zone. I was playing. I wasn't thinking about anything else. I was just playing, going to town on this video game. Later on, time passed. One of the other guys that were there had a little bit more presence of mind than I did, I guess. And he said, "Hey, geez, look what time it is." I hadn't been thinking about time since about 6:30. So I was like, "Oh, I can't be that late." Pulled out my phone, and I saw two things I'll never forget, ever. One thing was that on my wonderful cell phone, I had missed 10 calls. All 10 calls were from my beautiful wife. Already, I was really happy about what was happening. I missed these 10 phone calls, and if that weren't enough, to add insult to injury, I cleared those off, and I looked to see what time it was. 2 a.m. That is correct, everybody. Do the math. I put in a full work day. A full work day, no lunch. I was right in it. So, being the intelligent guy that I am, I decided it's time to go. Put the video game down, run out the door with my keys likely, get in the car, call my wife, starting to think, how can I make up for this? Call and I talked to her. "Honey, I'm so sorry. I don't even think I got more than that." And that was we'll talk when you get home. I said, okay. What else am I going to say? I put cell phone away the whole way home. All I'm doing is I'm in constant prayer. It's a 20-minute drive from one house to the next, praying the whole way. God, let's just do this. Here's my idea. She'll be asleep, and we won't have to deal with it. I get home, constant prayer the whole way home, park the car, get out, walk up to the door, and this is the moment of truth. Is she asleep or is she awake? Unlock the door, open it up, the lights are on. I thought, oh, maybe she's just wanting to leave them on for me. She couldn't be awake still. Look in the door, she's not there. Look to my right, and this is what I saw. That's right. We'll speed it up a little bit, and I'll let you know. We'll skip the next little portion of that, actually. I'll let you know that before she said anything, she said a whole lot to me. Just by that wonderful seating arrangement that she left. Luckily, she's still here. She's with me. She gave me the grace, and I got the peace out of it. And I'm very thankful. Why would I share that story? Well, I'll give you a little more background. I went to Ball State University up the road. And when I was there, I studied communications and public relations. There's a lot of different points to it, but there's a few main ones that pretty much everybody knows. There's verbal communication, what I'm doing now. I'm sending a message and you all are receiving it, hopefully. There is the other part of it, though, that I really wanted to focus on today. Nonverbal communication. When I sat in that seat, and I crossed my legs, and I put my arms and my face in that position, it showed you something. You knew that I was in trouble. She hadn't said anything. I didn't say really what happened, but you knew. I conveyed something to you without saying a single word. Now, there are those different types of verbals and the nonverbals, but I really want to focus on the nonverbal. So just for the sake of definition, nonverbal communication is anything that's communicated, given, and you receive without saying a single word. It's something that I've really